My name is. I'll be doing the technical interview.
Ah, good.
Um, so how are you getting on?
Yeah, quite nervous, but I'm okay.
Yeah, don't worry, relax. It's not going to be. It's only going to be like half an hour, and it won't be too bad.
Good, good.
So you can relax. It's all right. So, um, so yeah, whereabouts are you living? You in Dublin?
Yes, in Fieldsburg. What about you?
Okay. Yeah, I live in it's a place up near Drogheda, County Louth. So
Ah, I've never been
it's
there.
yeah, it's like about an hour on the train into Dublin.
Ah, that's the
It's
reason.
it's up on the coast near the beach. So
Good.
it's yeah. So where you're working now in? Is that right?
Yes, I am. I work there as a contractor, and my contract is going to expire on this 24th. So now I'm looking for another job. If it's with Angular, is the best for me because it's like what I've been working for in the last 3 years. So that's it.
Okay, okay. So like this interview I'm doing, which is the technical interview. There's another guy that does the interviews with me, and he's more for the soft skills, and he'll be deciding where people are placed in the company or what projects they go on and stuff like that. So I don't actually know what project this interview is for. Um, I'm just here to assess your Angular skills, but but
I've
you can
heard.
ask me any questions you have on the company or anything like that, and I'll try and answer them best as I can. Um,
Yes, he told me that the role that I'm applying for is to be worker. However, I'm gonna be based in her customer in the public sector.
okay,
So
yeah.
that's what I know.
Yeah, okay. So it's a consultancy, and they have lots of clients. One of their biggest client is which is based in Kildare Street, and so but they also have lots of different clients in the public sector as well. But I'd say more than likely that'd be where you'd be going. But we can talk about that after. We'll get the technical stuff through, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So, do you want to just tell me a little bit about the last project you worked on there? I think it was fitting.
Yes, it's like an internal project. The only like the employees use it, and it's like how can I say, a financial institution, and that works with investment. So if you have like some cash in the bank and you don't know how to invest, like buying stocks from Google or Amazon or whatever, you just give your money to and then we take care of your money, and then we give you your money back and plus a little bit more after like a couple of years.
Okay.
So that's the goal of them. And the project that I'm working on is for the investors. So there's like tons of people on that does like economics and this kind of stuff, and they are pros in the stock market. And the application that I'm working on is like for the manager of those pros in stocks. So for example, hey, someone has like put 20 grand here in the website, and this is what I think he should invest to. So the user clicks in submit, and then his manager sees, and then this doesn't make any sense. Do some alteration, and then there's another features of the application like optimize button that will take like the best stocks of available in the time being. For example, if you don't like, I don't know, Coca-Cola, and you say, hey, I hate Coca-Cola, do my investments, but don't ever buy stuff from Coca-Cola. And then we take care of this specialty in our optimization algorithm as well. So we try our best. So the application is made in Angular. The backend is made in Java. And yes, that's pretty much it. We have like tons of modules in our application, and that's it.
Okay, so you said the backend is Java. Was that Spring Boot?
I believe so, but I don't work on the Java side of this story.
Okay, so like you're just solely front-end developer.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So what version of Angular was that?
We are on the version 10, so maybe we'll update it to 11. So
Okay, and if you were going to do that update, how would you do it?
with the NG update, so it's quite straightforward.
Cool. Yeah. And so can you just explain a little bit then about what Angular CLI is?
So instead of like, if you want to create a new component or a new module or a new pipe or a new whatever, instead of like you creating like new file and then you included this file in the module and then you write some boilerplate code yourself and then you lose tons of time in order to do that, we have like the cool Angular CLI that just do that for us. So if you want to just create a component, you just say Angular CLI generate new component and then you're good to go. And then this creates a JS file, a TS file, a CSS file, an HTML file, and the test file. So that's pretty much it. And also it attaches into a module, so pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver. Because
Yes.
you worked on AngularJS as well, right?
Yes, in the past I was working with AngularJS, so
So it's much better than that.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, like when Angular CLI came out, I was like, started like I was working on AngularJS and I moved over to use Angular 2 plus, and I started using Angular CLI for the first time. I was like, yeah, this is much better.
Yes, there's also the NX as well, NX plus, something like that. That works like English CLI.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one. So yeah, so you mentioned the components there. Can you just explain what a component is?
So component is just like a piece of HTML and JavaScript. For example, you can have like split your page into several pieces of HTML and CSS. For example, you have like your button, that this button should be a component. You have like your menu is like a component. We have like a header, this can also be a component. Every single page or single piece of HTML is a component, and then you can do many things with them.
And have you heard of this concept of smart components and dumb components?
Yes. Smart component is like a component that is, as the name says, smart. It connects to the store, so it has it looks at your state of the application, and then it inspects actions and does a lot of smart things. However, the dumb components is just like the kind of components that you just like send props to it, and then you just interested in the input and output. So
Perfect, yeah. And so you just mentioned input and output functions there. So do you just want to explain what they are?
So when you input and output is like a way to communicate between components. So if you send stuff into the components, it's just like use like the decorator input, and then like if you want to emit events to the parent component, use the decorator output.
perfect. Yeah. And then, can you explain to me what a lifecycle book is?
Do you mean like the components that has like the constructor and then you have like the ng on init?
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
so the first thing that runs the on the component is like the constructor, and then like you instantiate your dependency injection, like you inject your services and whatever that your component relies with, and then you have like then ng on init, which is the first method that like is run after the constructor, and then like you have like the many others. For example, you have like energy changes, like when the input changes. You have like the ng on destroy when you unsubscribe to the store, and yeah, a few of the others that I don't remember at the moment, but they're there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know them all either. I don't know them all either off the top of my head, but yeah, perfect. Uh, so say I have two components, and one is component A, and the other one's component B, and they're both sibling components, and they are inside a parent component. And I want to get a message from component A to component B. How would I do that?
Are component A and B dumb or smart?
They can be whatever you want.
So there's like several ways to send a message to component A to B. The first one is just like emit an output to the parent, and then the parent emits input to the component B. The other one is like inject a service in both components A and B and just like communicate through the service. And then the third one, which in my opinion is the best, is to use like the ngrx. So basically, you dispatch an action on component B or BA, and then you just get the result on component B.
Yeah, perfect answer. So, do you know what a subject is?
Yes.
So, just want to explain what a subject is.
So it's like an observable, but I decide when something happens, not like an HTTP call or websites or WebSockets, or when we have like a button click or whatever. So we have like many observables, and I just like I'm the one that says, hey, you're gonna be triggered. So that's what a subject is.
Perfect, yeah. And so say I have a REST endpoint and I want to call that. How do I do that in Angular?
So you have like the HTTP service, and then you just like do HTTP GET, and then you just like type your URL, and then you're good to go.
Perfect, yeah. And say the data that's coming back from the REST call that I'm doing isn't what I want. It's like I need to transform it. So how would I do that? How would I manipulate the data to...
Usually you just say, hey, backend guys, I don't want to be doing data manipulation on the front end. This is like bad for the performance of the application. But if you really need to do that, you have like some pipes that helps you, like you have like the map, you have like the flat, you have like the filter, you have like many ones.
Yeah, perfect. Let's see. So yeah, we were just talking about observables there. So then, have you heard of hot and cold observables?
Hot and cold, yes. So it's like I use this hot and cold for testing my effects. So, but I don't know the difference from them. it's something that I struggle a lot because like you have like the cold and hot, and then you can like see the stream of data. And anyway, I'd rather to say that I don't know this one, but I use it in a way that I have to Google a lot, and I usually lose a lot of time when I have like to test effects, and this is quite hard for me.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So you're talking about mapping there. Can you let me know what a flat map is? Sorry.
So I believe that the flat map makes many observables into a single one, and I'm not sure about this one as well.
Perfect. Yeah. And say you wanted, say if you didn't know what an operator was doing, where would you go to find out?
On the documentation,
Where? Sorry.
in the Angular documentation.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you were talking about modules there at the start. Explain what an Angular module is.
So Angular module is like a branch of like components, pipes, and filters, and like it's just like a group of things, services. That's it. And you can like lazy load those modules, and you can like include those modules into other modules. So that's what a Angular module is.
So what would you use a shared module for?
For a module that's shared between all of the modules of your application.
Perfect, yeah. And then what is the core module for?
The core module is like stuff that your application relies. For example, you have like some like core stuff in your Angular application. For example, if your application use forms module, instead of you including the forms module in every single mode, you just like includes the core module there, and then the core module includes this one.
Perfect, yeah. Okay. So I'll just ask you, have you used like Git or SVN?
Yes, I use Git.
Okay. And the workflow you use, like would you, if you wanted to merge two branches together, would you use merge or rebase?
I use git pull from branch blah blah blah.
Okay.
I think the rebase lose tracks.
So can you explain what a git rebase is?
I'm not that sure, but I read once that if you do the rebase, you might lose like the history of your stuff. So that's the reason that I just like to git pull, and I pull from branch A to branch B or whatever.
Yeah, like in fairness, like the project I work on at the moment, our system is just to use git merge as well. We don't bash, we don't do rebase.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's see. Do you know what the HTTP method put is used for?
Yes, when you want to modify something.
And how is this different to a patch?
I'm not sure what the patch is, so I usually, at least in our application, we always just like get to retrieve data. We use like post when you want to create one, and we use like the put when you want to modify something. So That's the three things. I don't know what the patch one does.
Okay, no worries. And say in your application, like how do you do error handling in an Angular app?
So you mean like you have like when you try to retrieve some data, you do some kind of HTTP GET, and then you just like return this call, and then in your like effects you have like your catch, and then you just like dispatch an action saying, hey, failed to retrieve data, and then you just put that information in your state, and then you just like take this information from the state and put some components. So that's how I do that.
And what's an interceptor used for?
So an interceptor is like instead of like your application making a call to the real API, you just use your interceptor and you just like use your local JSON, so it makes like easier to develop it because like you can work offline. So
Cool. So yeah, we're nearly at the end of all the grilling, I promise. So it's hard because I'm just asking you question after question. Like, so do you follow any tech bloggers? Any blogs?
So I use a website called Pluralsight.
Yeah.
In order to learn new things. So it has some video aulas or video classes, and then I just like watch them. Like I watched some TypeScript stuff. I did some TypeScript courses there, Angular courses, so testing with Angular routings, like this kind of stuff.
Okay, so you just said Angular routing there. Can you just explain that a bit?
So the routes is just like the routes of your application. So in your module, you have like a way to define the routes of your module. For example, if you say google.com/ABC, and then you just like define the route ABC, hey, load these components, and that's it.
Yeah. And you also mentioned TypeScript there. So how is TypeScript different to JavaScript?
So it's just like an extension of JavaScript. So basically, TypeScript just has like the cool stuff that we don't have in JavaScript. Like in the past, when error functions were not like a thing in JavaScript, it had already been in TypeScript, and now we have error functions in JavaScript as well. So it's like what the future will JavaScript be. So, and in TypeScript we will have like some kind of like defining what kind of parameters will a certain function receive. So for example, this function will receive like an object with like some properties, and this properties needs to match some kind of interface, and it should be like a name that should be a string. So it makes easier to refactor, because like in case you're like changing something, you just like see a red thing there, red underline there, and then like it just makes your life easier to be.
Yeah, definitely. I love it.
Yeah,
But,
so like sometimes it's quite hard for me when I do like testing, and then I have like to try to do some tricks to with TypeScript, but besides that, it's so much easier to do some refactors. So my life is much easier because of it.
yeah, definitely. So say I was working on a project that was not Angular, and I wanted to use TypeScript. So how do I get from the TypeScript to, what do I need to do to use the TypeScript?
So if you're not in another project, okay. So you need to configure some kind of task runner like Webpack or Grant or Gulp or whatever to transform your .ts file into JavaScript, and then you just need to include the results of those JavaScript in your index.html, and then you need to type some configurations on your in your Webpack saying, hey, I want to use ES6 modules, and I want to, my target is ES 2015, and then you do some specification, then you're good to go.
Yeah, perfect. So let's see. Have you used Yarn?
Yarn, yes, it's like NPM. So in 2017-18, when we did Yarn install, it was faster than the NPM. But then NPM just released a new version, and then NPM is just as fast as Yarn as well. So I'll come back using NPM.
Can you think about any other reason why people prefer, or why do some people prefer to use Yarn apart from speed?
I don't know.
Do you know what tree shaking is?
I don't know what tree shaking is.
Okay. So yeah, I think I've asked enough questions now.
Oh my god! And the last one was one that I couldn't answer.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll ask you another one.
Well, good.
You want another question?
No, thanks.
Yeah, don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. So, yeah, that's the end of my questions, for all my questions. I think I've grilled you enough on everything. So, do you have any questions for me?
Yes. So I read that one is one of the best Irish companies to work for, and then I was like, how's working there? Why is the best companies to work for in Ireland?
Yeah, so they win, or they get quite high results in the Great Place to Work. I don't know if it's a competition. It's a great place to work thing. I don't know what it is. And probably the reason for that is because I think people genuinely like to work here. It's not just the thing where it's not just an advertisement. You never hear anyone complain that they're working here. People always have positive things to say. People get on well with their colleagues. There's this thing called a Bubbles manager that each team has, and they're kind of responsible for making sure that morale is high, and they organise events. It doesn't happen so much because of now at the minute, but when we're in the office, they would organise events like
social drinks, right?
Social things, yeah, go karting or paintballing or things like that, or go to the cinema or go to plays and
cool.
gigs, stuff, all these different kinds of things. So and if there's anything you wanted to do, you could always just email the guy and say, here, can we go rock climbing or something, and they'll go and arrange it for you. So,
nice.
So there's that. Other things is there's a thing they call the quarterly briefing, which is where the company gets all the employees together and hold a kind of a briefing to explain how the company is performing and what the plan is for the next while. And then after that, there's a kind of drinks and free food. And if it's the summertime, we have a barbecue. And so I suppose that's a lot of that is a reason. And then other reasons is because it's a very quickly expanding company, so there's lots of opportunity here. So, like they're employing, well, I don't know what the numbers are, but they employ a lot of people every year. It keeps growing, so that means there's more projects to be worked on, which means there's opportunity for people to progress quickly um, in their careers. Like, so that's probably another reason why it's a great place to work. There's another thing is every quarter there's like a bonus. So depending on your performance, well, it's not. This is only for employees. It's not a contractors. But
I'm not sure if I'm like applying for a contractor or an employee.
Okay.
Because like he told me that there would be like two roles. One of them would be contractor, and the second one would be like a normal employee. And I said, hey, I want to try for both.
So. Okay. If you're if you're a permanent employee, like employed directly, you get a bonus, and the bonus is dependent on your performance and your CPD level, they call it. So that's your level in the company, like how senior you are. And then, depending on how well the company performed, you get a share of the profits. It's called profit share, and it can be a good bit every 3 quarters, every 3 months.
Cool.
So yeah, what else?
And where is it based? Is in the city center, and even though like if I'm hired, I'm not being in the main office. Just curious.
So it has offices all over the world. But the ones in Dublin is in the city centre. I don't know if you've been there. Well, it's it's in the city centre near Millennium. It's not far from Temple Bar.
Oh, okay, in the Grand Canal, right?
No, so it's just off the River Liffey. There's like a bridge there called just close to that. So that's where the main office is, near Jervis, near that Jervis do stop.
Yeah.
So that's where the main office is. But if you're working in Department of Agriculture, that office is in, and like that's the client site, and so yeah, you'd be working in there. Now before there was no remote working really, so everyone was working in the office. After there might be some more flexibility with remote working, but I'm not sure. So I can't get on with that. But the office is in the city centre. It's a great location, really. I like going there. It's lots of places around it to eat and stuff. So there's no better location really for, like, it's dead bang in the city centre right off Stephen's Green. So makes things handy.
Yes, have the laws, have everything there.
Yeah. So it's probably not far for you going from Drumcondra, did you say?
Philsburg, yeah. After a little bit after Drumcondra, I'll just have like take the green line and just go to the city center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. What would have been the next step?
So this was the technical interview. So I'll report back on how that went, and then there's either going to be another interview with my colleague Paul, who assesses like soft skills and more that kind of thing. Like, and they kind of get a feel whether you be a fit for the company or not. So like the purpose of this interview is just purely just the technical side of things. Like I will. So I give my feedback, and then there might be another interview, or I don't know what happens after that. It goes to those guys, and they'll either arrange another interview or they'll be in contact with you in some way. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time and patience.
Yeah, no problem at all. It's kind of like I like doing these. It's kind of like something different from my workday, So
Yeah.
to go back and start coding again.
Good luck.
Thanks very much. So yeah, it's nice to meet you, and someone will be in touch with you.
All right. I wish you all the best.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye.
Bye. E aí, galera, o que vocês acharam? Se você gostou do vídeo, hit the button like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment below. And this was a technical interview, and I hope you guys liked. So goodbye, see you guys soon.